you all and thank you for coming. Bamber would be astonished to see so many of you here. He always said at your funeral, you have to die young. So he would have been amazed and delighted. He would also be very surprised to have a religious service. But we are here in this very special chapel of the Grenadier Guards. Very appropriate, as Bamber did his national service as a guardsman. So we will respect the format of a chapel service. I'm starting with my mother, but it leads to Bamber. When I first left home for university, where suddenly I would be in a world of men, masses of them, 9 to 1, my mother's instruction was very simple. Always say no. But when I brought Bamber home to meet my mother, to my embarrassment, she clearly fell in love with him. Her instruction changed. Be very careful. He has come to bed eyes. Mother, please. As indeed he had. Dark, liquid, laughing, come to bed eyes. From that moment, we were inseparable. Both of us working from home. In those days, men took women much more for granted. First, the wife would make a nest and then fill it. I did neither. It didn't matter to him. I asked my mother how, but she had always said no. How come I was born? And for that matter, my 3 brothers. She replied that my father was a very wonderful, considerate, modest man, above all a very good and kind man, also very handsome. And occasionally the rule of no could be broken. Bamber was the kindest, most generous, happiest, most entertaining friend and passionate companion. He was a great supporter of causes he believed in and of people whose causes needed furthering. He was an inspiration to live with and a role model. When confronted with a moral dilemma, I have to produce my rule book. If in doubt, tell the truth. Bamber needed no rules. His instinct was to do so. But just once, he went in for a huge lie, or anyway, a huge deception. Back to university where we met. Bamber's courtship was full of elaborate and ingenious surprises. Shortly into our friendship, he noticed that I, as an impoverished student, was very short of shoes. He wrote me a letter, as from the Mayor of Cambridge, no less, on pretend Mayor's office paper, saying my name had been randomly chosen off the electoral register to receive a pair of shoes of my choice at the city's big shoe shop. How can I have fallen for this preposterous story? But I did, and chose myself the most glamorous but impractical pair of shoes. Some days later he told me the whole thing was made up. But how else could he have given me an expensive pair of shoes that I liked and that fitted? I should have recognised his wonky typewriter and his wildly imaginative style. A short time into our marriage, a publisher asked Bamber to do a book on the Mughal emperors of India. He insisted that his wife, a very unfledged photographer, took the photos. The publisher looked doubtfully at me and then said triumphantly that they needed plate camera pictures. Bamber said, of course we could provide those pictures. That very day we went to the camera shop and bought a plate camera. And we struggled together to master this gigantic thing on a massive tripod, black hood over my head, images all upside down. How on earth did we do it? But he was bold, imaginative, and very brave. The publisher said, okay, and we set off for India in a new Peugeot. We had so many wonderful adventures, and that was to continue all through life together, culminating in one last glorious firework, the surprise inheriting of West Horsley Place, beautiful house, and the miraculous overnight mushrooming of an opera house. What an impossible dream come true for a lifelong devotee of opera. And now suddenly this amazing and wonderful person is not here. It's the end. But now I have his legacy and the chaotic papers of a lifetime to cope with. What many hours of pleasure I shall still have in his company. But when this awful thing of loss happens to any of us, and we know it will, we all just carry on with life as best we can and devise our own ways of getting through. I am beyond tears, as are all of the family, just unutterably sad that he's gone.